Hello out there. Welcome to the No Shit Cast. I'm your host, Matt Frazier. Got a pretty good sack of stuff here to talk about today, folks. Been an interesting time on social media, some of the shit that's been bouncing around. And of course, you know me, I've got to capture it. And if it's funny, I'm going to talk about it. And this is one that is funny and disappointing. I got to be honest with you, because I saw this. I guess it's a theme park ride is what they're calling it, but it's the most ludicrous thing I've ever seen in my life. And if you've seen it on Facebook or on Instagram or any place, you know what I'm talking about. It's like a weird swing ride. It supposedly comes from, I don't know, China or some shit like that. But this thing is mental as hell, but turns out that theme park ride going viral right now is totally fake. This is from Gizmodo. Have you seen the video of the theme park ride? Not to pop anyone's balloon, but the video is totally fake. It's a great computer-generated animation. Well, then they need to build this freaking thing. The video is based on a ride called the Gyro Drop at the South Korean amusement park. I'm going to call that Lote World. But the viral video has been created using computer animation. The actual gyro drop, as you can see from countless YouTube videos, is much shorter and not nearly as dangerous looking. So that's a huge bummer. Like, I wanted to see people... I guess this thing would kill people. I don't know. Maybe you spin it fast enough. We can just put a lottery for it. And, you know, that's that morbid amusement park ride that's a euthanasia machine. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm weird. But there's drawings and designs for like roller coasters that start at the top of really big hills and then just go into continuingly tighter spirals. The object of which is to kill the rider. So, but do it in like a non-grotesque way, I guess. So you get to die while you're having the ride of your life sort of thing. Like I said, I don't know what's wrong with me. This is kind of shit I read about sometimes, folks. And welcome to my ride. This one comes from Vice News. Yep, people are having sex while wearing Airpods. And I saw this headline and I was like, there's no way in hell I can pass this up, because... this is a whole new strange twist on transhumanism. A new study of sexually active music fans also found that folk aficionados cry during sex, and those into country are also into role play. Ooh, you country people, get your freak on. AirPods may be an environmental disaster, but that's not stopping a whole lot of horny people from slipping them into their ears while having sex. In a study conducted by TickPick, an online ticket marketplace, 1 in 5 AirPod owners claims to have had sex while wearing the wireless headphones. Yes, a full 20% of AirPod owners say that they've pulled a Leonardo DiCaprio and dove into the juicy bits of their sexual partner while blasting anything from Dierks Bentley. Good Lord, I don't know who that is. On tiny indestructible in-ear Bluetooth speakers. Hopefully they don't also allegedly just lay there and vape while making their partner do all the work. The serial model dater allegedly does. The study was conducted... What the hell does that even mean? The serial model dater. Oh, that must be... Oh, that's an online persona. Yeah, an influencer. The study was conducted to explore how music influences preferences and expectations in the bedroom, KFC bathroom, festival porta potties, or wherever it is one prefers to engage in sexual relations. More than 1,000 people were surveyed online, all of whom said that they were sexually active and also enjoy listening to music. Those who weren't sexually active or didn't have an opinion on music were rejected. How they actually verified this information is unknown. So there's probably not much scientific necessarily about this. But it's still kind of interesting. I don't know, man. That's a whole new level of weird. I guess I could dig it if you were both listening to the same thing. And, you know, I say both, whatever you're into. Yeah. Let your freak flag fly, folks. I don't give a shit. This comes from Upworthy. Scientists have discovered a mushroom that eats plastic and believe it could clean our landfills. So more on the subject of, you know, Science and engineering actually saving us from ourselves. Plastic waste is one of the biggest environmental issues of our time, and while a straw ban is not the way we're going to solve it, and there's a link to here's why, people everywhere are looking for ways to reduce plastic use and mitigate the effects of waste. From handing out plastic bags with embarrassing labels to removing the plastic from six-packs to harnessing the power of a plastic-eating mutant bacteria, more and more of us are working to find solutions to a growing global problem. Add one more strange and awesome plastic-killing discovery to the list, a rare mushroom that feasts on plastic the same way you or I would when we go to the $5 buffet at CC's. Quote, the author says, I've only been once and I'm still thinking about it, even though just the thoughts are bad for my blood pressure. According to reports, the mushroom's plastic devouring properties were first discovered in 2011 when a team of Yale undergraduates and their professor traveled to Ecuador for a research trip. Yeah, let's get on the bus. They found the mushroom, Pestalotiopsis microspora in the Amazon and were astounded to find that the fungus not only subsists on polyurethane, quote, it's the first plant to sustain itself only on plastic, but could do so without oxygen. That means it could be planted at the bottom of landfills and happily eat its fill of plastic for eons to come, just like us at CC's Pizza. Despite our best efforts at increasing conservation and reducing waste, the U.S. continues to produce more plastic waste each year, while other recent studies suggest that recycling of plastic waste is actually declining. The amount of plastic waste that we're producing is estimated to rise 3.8% each year, with an estimated 40 million tons of plastic waste expected to be generated in 2019 alone by American companies and consumers. National Geographic says that over the past 60 years, we've created an estimated 8.3 billion metric tons of plastic waste. Yep, that's billion with a B. An astonishing 83.7% of that waste is expected to end up in landfills. Anything we can do to put a dent into the damage we're creating could make the world of difference for us and for the planet. So that's kind of cool shit, man. The things I worry about with these kind of discoveries, kind of like what we were talking about with Eric the other night, like that machine that sucks carbon, like CO2 out of the air and can turn it into fuel and can turn it into, plastics and stuff like that, is that we're going to get lazy about it and even worse and say, well, there's a process that's going to clean that up. So who gives a shit? So that's my concern. We'll see. It may not matter. I mean, if it's built right, I guess it doesn't. This comes from Futurism. I do a lot with Futurism. Elon Musk, who has long argued that our universe is actually a big simulation, has some complaints about the storyline. Quote, if reality was a video game, the graphics are great, the plot is terrible, and the spawn time is really long, Musk said on a stage at the gaming conference E3. Musk, who previously expressed a desire to escape the simulation, didn't clarify what parts of the plot he was talking about, but we are tempted to agree all the same. Musk was on stage talking about how video games helped inspire him to pursue a career in technology before he returned to the theory that our world is essentially a giant video game and that we're all just game avatars. Engadget reports, quote, the simulation seems likely, Musk said on stage. If you assume any greater improvement in video games at all, then one of two things are going to happen. Civilization will end, or games will be so realistic you can't tell the difference between them and reality. As my man Musk balling again. Yeah, man, I dig that. I kind of subscribe to this whole idea of us existing in some sort of weird, I don't know, simulation, because something's had to have happened, because, man, shit has gotten really weird really fast. So, yeah, there you go. Take it for what it's worth. From Futurism, we live in the wreckage of an epic galactic collision, says study, and it could help us solve the mystery of dark matter. A collision with a ghost of a galaxy millions of years ago is still haunting the Milky Way. In November, astronomers announced the discovery at Antilia 2, a low-density but relatively massive galaxy orbiting the Milky Way. Now, a team from the Rochester Institute of Technology has provided evidence that the past galactic collision is to blame for large ripples in the Milky Way's outer hydrogen gas disks, potentially solving a mystery that has puzzled scientists for more than a decade. Oh, I know some people that are going to disagree with this. Rochester Assistant Professor Sakanya Chakrabarti, I am so sorry, presented her team's findings, which have been submitted to the Astrophysical Journal letters and are currently published on the ArXiv preprint server during a meeting of the American Astronomical Society on Wednesday. Using data collected by the European Space Agency's Gaia satellite, they collected the past trajectory of Antilla 2 and found that it likely collided with the Milky Way hundreds of millions of years ago, causing the ripples we still see today. They're going with the old straight-up logical explanation there. Well, like I said, I know some guys that are probably going to have a take issue with these findings, and we'll see. I'm sure they'll be back on the show sooner or later. This comes from The Verge. Adobe's prototype AI tool automatically spots photoshopped faces. Though it's just a research project for the moment. No. This needs to become a thing like now. The world is becoming increasingly anxious about the spread of fake videos and pictures, and Adobe, a name synonymous with edited imagery, says it shares those concerns. Today, it's sharing new research in collaboration with scientists from UC Berkeley that uses machine learning to automatically detect when images of faces have been manipulated. It's the latest sign that the company is committing more resources to this problem. Last year, its engineers created an AI tool that detects edited media created by splicing, cloning, and removing objects. The company says it doesn't have any immediate plans to turn this latest work into a commercial product, but a spokesman told The Verge it was just one of many efforts across Adobe to better detect image, video, and audio and document manipulations. Quote, while we are proud of the impact that Photoshop and Adobe's other creative tools have made on the world, we also recognize the ethical implications of our technology. Holy shit. We also recognize the ethical implications of our technology, said the company in a blog post. Fake content is serious and increasingly pressing issue. The research is specifically designed to spot edits made with Photoshop's Liquify tool, which is commonly used to adjust the shape of faces and alter facial expressions. The feature effects can be delicate, which made it an intriguing test case for detecting both drastic and subtle alterations to faces, said Adobe. To create the software, engineers trained a neural network on a database of paired faces containing images both before and after they had been edited using Liquify. The resulting algorithm is impressively effective. When asked to spot a sample of edited faces, human volunteers got the right answer 53% of the time, while the algorithm was correct 99% of the time. The tool is even able to suggest how to restore a photo to its original, unedited appearance, though these results are often mixed. Quote, the idea of a magic universal undo button to revert images edits is still far from reality, Adobe researcher Richard Zhang, who helped conduct the work, said in a company blog post. Quote, but we live in a world where it's becoming harder to trust the digital information we consume. Holy shit, you think? And I look forward to further exploring this area of research. Yeah, this is huge. This is one of them things that's probably, in my opinion, is probably going to get it somehow incorporated into social media services like, oh my God, like Facebook and Instagram. But then everybody who's using filters and doing shit to alter their appearance. Could you imagine this, right? If you had the ability to then go back and just press a button and go, well, how did this image originally look? And it would go from like, Disney princess to, I don't know, some weird freaking hell monster. Thanks for listening, everyone. Check us out at www.knowshitcast.com. That's KNOWSHITCAST.com. Make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Leave us a comment. Like I said, we'd love to hear from you. Make sure to give us a rating on iTunes, etc. If you like what we do, give us a share. It would be greatly appreciated. And we'll catch you all next time. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.